In today's fast-paced world, there is something incredibly comforting about the smell of popcorn popping, the rumble of car engines, and the glimmer of a silver screen against the dark night sky. We have arrived at the drive-in movie theater.
Good evening, folks, and a hearty welcome to our drive-in theater. We have a wonderful evening's entertainment lined up for you, one that will provide several hours of pleasurable relaxation and diversion for you and your family.
The first documented attempt at a drive-in movie theater was in 1915. However, it wasn't until Richard Hollingshead Jr. began experimenting at his New Jersey home using his car, a 1928 Kodak movie projector, and a sheet hung between two trees that the drive-in theater as we know it began to take shape. Hollingshead patented his invention, and on June 6, 1933, the first official drive-in theater opened in Camden County, New Jersey. The concept quickly gained popularity, and drive-in theaters started popping up across the nation. However, those early drive-ins dealt with some sound issues. They could not figure out where to put the speakers so that everyone could hear them, and how to position them so as not to cause sound delays. But luckily, in 1941, RCA solved that problem by introducing in-car speakers with individual volume controls. After World War II, with the reunification of sweethearts and the starts of new families and the rise in car ownership that led to a surge in the opening of drive-in theaters, and by the 1950s, the number of drive-in movie theaters in the United States had skyrocketed to over 4,000. And that's incredible. I can't even imagine that. And going to see a movie at the drive-in was pretty magical. Families, couples, groups of friends would pile into their cars, often bringing blankets, pillows, homemade snacks. Cars parked neatly into rows, each with a clear view of the giant outdoor screen. Children played on the playgrounds, eagerly awaiting the start of the show, while their parents attached the small speaker to the car window. The atmosphere at the drive-in was always festive, with the smell of hamburgers and hot dogs drifting from the concession stand. As the sunset and darkness enveloped the sky, the movie began, casting a soft glow across the audience. And people would watch from the comfort of their cars. Sometimes they would be sitting on the hoods, or sometimes in the beds of pickup trucks, but all of us were under the starry sky. Intermission was a highlight, with animated concession ads encouraging us to go grab a treat, and then children falling asleep in the back seat before the start of the second feature.
For a quick refresher before showtime. No crowds to buck, just go get it. You'll be sorry you missed your chance to enjoy some of the many tempting goodies waiting for you. Stretch your legs now while the stretching's good. There's still time to get a mouth-watering hot dog, a sparkling ice-cold soda, assorted flavors of ice cream, all kinds of candy, the most delicious steaming hot coffee you ever drank, and freshly popped popcorn piping hot.
This was a beautiful moment in time, but it was short-lived. By the 1970s, drive-in movie theaters had started to decline. The rise of the multiplex cinemas made inside theaters bigger and more comfortable. Multiple screens offered consumers a wider variety of film options and earlier show times. And there was no need to worry about rainy conditions or swatting mosquitoes away from your kids as they watched the movie.
There's a drive-in movie full of juicy people. Wow! It's a trap! Help! It's Pick! We've had it, men!
Cable television, the introduction of VCRs, and the video rental industry further hurt drive-in movie theaters. And by the late 1980s, very few were still in operation.
This is a dill pickle, a mighty pretty pickle, especially when he joins you at the show. We have lots of pretty pickles waiting for you at the refreshment center. They're plump, tender, mouth-watering. Wouldn't one taste good right now?
Some of these drive-in sites were repurposed as storage sites or flea markets or even churches, but most were demolished to make way for housing complexes and shopping centers. And the end of 35 millimeter film distribution put the existing drive-in theaters in even more jeopardy, as the cost of converting to digital projectors, that was estimated at upwards of $80,000 per screen. The little mom and pop businesses could not afford that. Over the years, drive-in theaters have experienced a roller coaster in popularity. They have seen periods of decline, only to be followed by resurgences in interest and nostalgia. In the fall of 2014, it looked like a resurgence was in the works when Indiana-based USA Drive-Ins announced they had teamed up with retro-themed burger chain Johnny Rockets and had planned to open 200 new drive-in theaters that would serve Johnny Rockets in their concession stands. But unfortunately, that plan went nowhere. As of 2024, there are over 300 drive-in theaters remaining in the United States. That's a far cry from the 4,000 in the 1950s. And although I miss the heyday of the drive-in movie theaters in the 1950s and 1960s, I do feel very fortunate that I got to experience them as a kid in the 1970s. And a funny memory that I have of that is when my parents took me to the 1976 movie, The Bad News Bears. They were woefully unprepared for the amount of profanity in that movie. But I thought it was the greatest movie I'd ever seen. I'm sure they worried I would adopt the colorful language, but I did not. And do you remember traveling in the car at night and catching a glimpse of the drive-in movie playing on that big screen, and you'd crane your neck trying to see it? Those were good times. If you have a favorite drive-in memory, please leave it in the comments below. Family friendly. I should say that. A family friendly memory, because I am sure that some of you out there have some saucy memories of being in the back seat and missing the movie completely. And there is no need to overshare that. Family friendly memories only. If you haven't enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you would like to travel down memory lane with me again, please subscribe. And thank you so much for watching.
As you leave the theater, folks, please be careful. Don't let this happen to your car. Be sure to remove the speaker before you leave. If you should accidentally pull a speaker loose, please turn it in at our snack bar or box office. Thanks.